Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be checking out which movies came out on Friday and see if they popped or flopped. So these are the current results at the box office. I missed Toy Story 5 and whatever else came out. The Death of Robin Hood, which we'll be checking out today. We're just going to be checking out Supergirl, Jackass, and then The Death of Robin Hood. So yeah, these are the results. Toy Story 5 is doing very well. It is in first place. It's probably gonna make you think it's gonna make 1 billion? Probably, most likely. I haven't watched Toy Story 3 and 4, I think. And so I don't know. But this looks pretty cool and stuff. That's great that it's making a lot of money. But unfortunate for the second film, which is Supergirl. I've been reading a lot of reviews and everything. That is so unfortunate that this movie it doesn't even matter if it's more of the fact, like, not really the movie being good or bad. It's more based off of James Gunn saying all these things. That's really the issue. He set up all these things he was going to do, and then now he's canceling shows. The authority is no more. No mority, right? Authority. That's so bizarre. And then he can't do a Batman movie because of the whole Matt Reeves thing. And then they're doing a Clayface movie. I like James Gunn. I like that he can do all these other characters, which is cool. And then maybe they want him to do that on purpose so that they can sell other characters, because they really only have, what I mean, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the top 10 probably, but the top 3. And yeah, so I don't mind seeing other characters, but there doesn't seem to be a real plan or whatever. And then the quality isn't keeping up with whatever the plan, I guess. There is a loose plan, but I don't know. So it's very strange. And then James Gunn might make his decision soon based off of politics, and his contract is up. So, I don't get it, because of the merger thing, So it's very strange. And then now Supergirl isn't doing well. Then again, though, it's like a lot of it is the marketing. Like, Superman isn't really in it. Lobo's in it for 10 minutes, apparently. They changed a lot from the comic book. They ruined the ending. I don't know. Technically, I guess they kind of deviated from the original ending and missed the point of it, I guess. So yeah, I don't know, but it's a lot of these issues going on, and they kind of tricked you. Again, I don't know why. Why couldn't they just make the movie good, and then they don't have to fake any marketing and trick us with, oh, Lobo's in it and Superman, whoa, and then they're not really in it, kind of, which is good, because unlike Superman, it also had, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and some people said that it's less of a Superman film and more of like a Justice League movie. Or, you know what I mean, like more of a team movie, when it should have been, it was basically revolves around Superman, but it was like a lot of also the other stuff, so I don't know, but I know it was necessary, and it was cool, I didn't mind it, but it's just, I don't know, maybe for the second film it should have been like that, I don't know, but this Supergirl movie, I don't know. It's unfortunate that, I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. It's strange. The situation is just weird. She's gonna be in the new Superman film, apparently. That character's still gonna be here, and I think she's gonna be in that movie more. But it's just strange because, I don't know. It's weird. It's strange. I wanted this movie to do good, though. I wanted it to be good and stuff. But then even the actor opened her mouth and pulled a Rachel Zegler and saying stuff. She just couldn't refrain. Why? Just had to say something and offend some people. I hope that there is a special clause in her contract that if she tanks the movie or whatever, that she is in, violation of her contract or something, or she has to give back like a fee of some sort, or because that's not fair, like it's all these different sections, and besides the actors, James Gunn and maybe a few others are promoting the movie. The rest of the studio, they don't really get to say much, like the president and, whatever, the CEO and stuff, but the other people who worked on the film, and they can't, they would like to tell the actor, like, hey, stop talking, you're ruining the movie. And it's unfortunate that, like, the actors and actresses really think that, like, they are the movie, James Gunn is the movie. He's the visionary, even whoever directed this movie too. It's like she is the real, the leader of the movie. This Millie Alcock just did what they told her to do. She didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Kind of get that confused, and then we praise the main actor, and it's like, wait a second, hold on. What did she really do here? And James Gunn and whoever else, Peter Safran, all these other people did the work. The makeup artist, the boom mic operator, all these people did, also. So it's just, I don't know, but it's unfortunate that, like, there's a lot of issues, with this film, and they really needed this to do well for DC. They really needed, I don't know. I do kind of have a theory that take a loss, kind of, sort of, but this would be like it, no more. So I don't know, but Superman, Man of Tomorrow, which, they might even change the name of it because it's kind of weird. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. I don't know if I want to say two mans. They changed Superman Legacy, so I am thinking that, yeah, they're probably gonna drop somewhere to do a name change, or just Man of Tomorrow, I guess. Or I don't know about Superman 2, Man of Tomorrow. That could be kind of cool, maybe, but everyone does it too, This to be different. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I don't know what's going to happen with this movie. We could actually look at what it says here specifically. Worldwide, 67. The movie, this movie should have been like 60 or 70 million. That's another issue, is 170 or whatever is just, it's too much. I can't believe it. 170 million, almost $200 million. Oh my God. I don't get it. And it has issues. It's kind of just weak. It's like people are saying mixed bag for the DCU. Millie Alcock shines, but script falters. Uninspired slog. Better than expected action. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. There's moments that things are great. I'm sure, of course, there's great stuff. It's just overall, it just is disappointing. And then, yeah, I don't know. And Rotten Tomatoes isn't doing well either. But we'll check all that out in a bit. And then we'll finish what else is on this box office here. Obsession is in third place. That's pretty cool. I think the guy announced he's going to do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film next or something. Or the Backrooms, one of them. And then number 4 is Jackass, best and last, which made, that's weird. I think it was $10 million or 20 million. All right. I think it was $20 million for this one, which is great. At least it's low, but I guess, I don't know. It could hit the 20 million, at the end of its run. Maybe not. It has to make another 10 million, and then yeah, I don't know. And they're not going to do a 0.5 apparently in the trivia and IMDb. It says that they're not going to do a 0.5, which I feel like they should, because like they should do it for like a backup almost, or almost tradition. Jackass tradition. They always release a 0.5. I think what it is a mirror to Jackass 1, where it starts with a cart in the first one, the shopping cart, and ends it with this in this one as a tribute or something, So that's pretty great. And then I think they said that because the first one didn't have the same thing, whatever, a 0.5, they're not going to do a 0.5 with this one. So I think that's the main reason that they're going to not do a 0.5, even though I really think they should for the two reasons I said, make a little bit of extra money and for tradition. But that's fine, at least for a backup plan, because they could have made up a little bit of extra money, I think. You know, that could have probably helped. And then down here in 5th place is Disclosure Day, which I think is kind of disappointing. Shouldn't it be making a little more? I swear I said something like it's probably going to make 300 or 400 at the end of its run. This isn't good, right? Well, I forgot what the budget was for this. Was it? Oh no, let me see. Was it 115 or something? 115, 115, I think. So yeah, it should have made 300 or 400. That's what I was saying. Hopefully, I mean, it still has time. It's been there for 17 days, though. How many theaters? It lost 1,000 theaters, though. And they probably, yeah, you know what? I bet you all the theaters have Toy Story 5 in it. And now they're going to get Supergirl out of there. And they're probably going to put Star Wars back. And then what are the kid movies? Oh, the Minions or something's coming out next week. Some Minions film. Minions and Monsters or something. Monsters and Minions, whatever. Yeah, I think I saw the trailer a while ago. Yeah, maybe it's that one. That's going to be kind of funny, I think. And then what else do we have this today? Back Rooms. That is in 6th place and has made $184 million. It's 31 days. That is probably almost at the end of its run. I think they're going to leave it for the two months then, you think? This might hit, yeah, you know what? They're going to leave it for as long as Michael. So, where are we at? Backroom. So, 31. Yeah, they're going to leave it for another month. So, this movie, let's check it out. This one, 330, it's going to end with, I'm going to say, if they're going to leave it, I'm going to say 450 to 500 million. I don't know. You think it can make 600 million? Second question is, you think it can make $1 billion? But I think the better one is, could it make 600 million? And then I feel like it's going to make 500 million, which is going to be so good for A24. I can't believe it. And then down here we have in 7th place, Scary Movie, which I think this is a little disappointing. I think it's doing great. It was a $40 million budget or something, which is very smart on their end. And I already read a bunch of spoilers, whatever, and it's pretty funny how it ends and stuff. So I think it seems kind of like, you know what I mean, like a trick or kind of rude or whatever. But when you think about what the movie is, I think it really works. I think it's pretty hilarious. So yeah, I think that, let's see, this movie is at 24 days. And it seems like, so 207, probably 250, I don't know, or here, 210 probably. I feel like I could hit 250 before it's out. It's been 24 days. It's probably going to be there for 2 months, so it's probably going to hit, whatever I just said, 250. Yeah, probably, maybe, possibly. And then Bleach, I didn't cover that one. 2 million. It's probably anime, so that's probably going to do well. Very beautiful films, usually from them. 943 theaters, that's not a lot. 2 million, though, I think that's an okay amount. My theory is that it's cheap to make these films because they're animated and probably in studio. Then down here we have 9th place, Star Wars, The Mandalorian Grogu. 38 days, they are really hoping... they are really hoping that they can make some more money. This movie, I feel like it's just, I don't know. It looks cool, looks great, whatever. It's just, you know, and especially with like the fact that like this could have been a TV show, season 4 or whatever it was on, but they squeeze it into a movie and you can feel the episodes apparently in it and nothing happens. There's no character arc. It's kind of like, you know, nothing really goes anywhere, but it's fun though. It's a lot of fun, you know, and all that. So I don't know. This is probably going to stay here. I don't know. I feel like 350 or 400 million probably. But it is at almost 2 months, so they're gonna pull it soon, I think. And then down here, 10th place is Leviticus. I think this is like a horror gay movie or something like that. 5 million though. I don't know if there was a budget here. I didn't cover it, so I'm not really sure. I don't see a budget anywhere. 6 million overall. It's probably not gonna. It's a good idea, and I guess, but the gay theme is 50-50 for a lot of people. So even if it's whatever, people still won't give it a chance. Even if it's good. Yeah. 11th place is Michael, which is, I think it's gonna hit 1 billion, isn't it? Ooh, that is so crazy. Oh my god. How long has it been there for? 66 days. That's over. Wow. They're going to go for 3 months, you think? This could be like the new Rocky Horror. You know what I mean? New Rocky Horror Picture Show. Because people are dancing and everything in the theater. Wow. So I think that is definitely going to hit $1 billion. That's pretty cool. The Death of Robin Hood is in 12th place, which I think the critics don't like it. We're going to cover it today. But the audience seems to kind of like it, I guess. Yeah, it seems like Rotten Tomatoes, or, well, I don't know. Yeah, the critics don't like it, I think. But we'll check that out in a bit. And 4 million. I feel like it's A24, so the budget's probably like $20 or something, 13th place is The Breadwinner, 20 million, still there. The Invite, The Furious. The Invite, wait a second, isn't that oh, that just came out. Or that's in previews. I think it's A24. Oh, that just came out then, I think. Okay, well, maybe I'll cover it today. We'll see. Or tomorrow. I might do a part 2 of this. So, yeah, The Invite. That's A24 also. Probably another $20. But that has Seth Rogen in it. And I think his wife is in it too. But that's probably interesting. Of course, it's A24. It's gonna be crazy, of course. The Furious down here, which looks like a cool movie, John Wick type stuff. Pretty straightforward, pretty crazy action stuff. Girls Like Girls, 2 million. The Devil Wears Prada down here in 17th place. That one's doing okay, I guess. Did it make? Wow, there's an answer on that. Pressure down here, which is 1 hour and 40 minutes. I really think that's so funny. Gosh, that bombed, didn't it? That flopped. That's unfortunate. Pressure Couture, Stop That Train, 3 million. I Love Boosters, 9 million. And then Stop That Train, 3 million. I Love Boosters, 9 million. I think that movie seems so wild and stuff. I cannot wait to watch that one. I think it's gonna be really cool. Super Mario Galaxy movie. I watched it. I guess I liked it. Fox McCloud is cool. I love seeing Glenn Powell do some voice acting is pretty cool. The Rose of Nevada, I didn't watch that one. Peter Asher, Ever a Man. Wow. Greg Allman, The Music of My Soul. God, these are making kind of low. Romeria, 18 million. The Python Hunt. Caroline. I wonder what the cheapest one is. The lowest one, $10,000. And then, yeah, so those are all the others. Well, that is pretty cool. So now we can check out, I'm going to go check out Supergirl first. Okay, so the first film we can check out is Supergirl. I was, I guess, excited, but they changed a lot from the comic book, apparently. Lobo's not in it. They added him. And I guess used him to try to get people in to watch the movie, I guess. I don't know. He's not in it that much. I heard it was like 10 minutes worth of him or something. I don't get why, if the movie's bad and you're tricked, now it's like, you're going to lose trust. It's like, why can't you just be straightforward and honest or something? And then hey, don't trick us. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. But I'm just going to watch the trailer since I didn't watch it in the last show. So, yeah, we can check that out.
My cousin and I...
Here we go.
Here's the thing. My cousin and I have very different ideas about what it means to be a hero. He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
The brigands brought destruction to every corner of the universe. The galaxy must be defended.
You cannot give up on me.
Now it's a party.
Oh, that might be a problem.
I know it's pretty colorful, but that's just so everyone knows we're good.
I'm going to tell you something. Only one of you is going to make it out alive.
We haven't been formally introduced.
Well, I mean, it looks cool and stuff. I hope that last slow-mo shot is actually in it and not just in the trailer. Yeah, Superman's not really in it in like flashbacks. Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. I mean, yeah, it looks awesome, right? I don't know. I guess it just doesn't do what it should do, and then they change stuff for the movie. Like Krem, he doesn't look like that, I guess. And then Lobo's not in the original story. I don't know. I think I don't know. A lot of people did not like Supergirl's cameo at the end of this first Superman film. I think a lot of people were kind of, I don't know, turned off to this because of that. And then, oh, by the way, there's the other Peacemaker being rated R, which is kind of continues from Superman, and the kids can't watch that. And then, but they can watch this. I don't know. That's a separate issue. I don't get that at all. Either be rated R for adults or for the kids, you know, or whatever. You know what I mean? Middle or whatever. But pick one. Don't you? It's very strange. Because he said it was like Superman has to be watched before Peacemaker season 2, and then it was like, okay, well, half the audience can't watch it. Well, who is it for? You know? And then Peacemaker season 2 was very strange, kind of interesting, but very weird. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I guess the trailer looks cool. There's a ticking time bomb. Apparently, there's a ticking time bomb. I don't know if that's a spoiler really, but that is in the film, which is good. I don't know, and that's that's kind of mostly it that's in the film. So yeah, but we'll read some comments and whatever in a bit. Some reviews. PG-13. You know, I mean, they might as well just made it rated R. It probably would have gotten the same amount of money. I don't know. Well, it's kind of weird. I don't know what to say. That's what I said. PG-13 or rated R. You can't have the Superman be PG-13 and then, oh, guys, got to watch Peacemaker season 2 to get the rest of the story. And it's hardcore rated R, like The Boys. Like, that makes zero sense. I don't know why they had to do that. But yeah, they might as well have just made this rated R. Like Lobo in Krypton or whatever that show was. I watched 2 seasons of it, all of it. And I love that Lobo. That was pretty funny, what they did in that one. And I don't know. Maybe this should have been a show. Maybe this should have been like 6 episodes, you know, at 30 minutes each, just like Peacemaker, or 40 minutes, whatever. That would have been kind of cool, you know? That probably would have worked. and they could have probably let the story breathe, and they would have had the original story there, and then they could have put all the new ideas on the side. So at least it is the original story with some subplots added, maybe, or whatever the directors want to do. Then what else? It's an hour and 47 minutes, so that's interesting. Oh, what was Superman? Superman was it 2 hours? No, I think it was less. But so an hour and 50 minutes. That's probably not a bad runtime. It's not fast and it's not over 2 hours and it drags. So that's interesting. There's no post-credit scene apparently. What? Like, I mean, I don't really care, but I'm just saying, like, it's more of like part of the thing. It's part of the superhero movie, to like, hey, wait around, and then, everyone's waited around forever, and there's always 2 post-credit scenes. You're right. You're used to that. And then now this movie has none or something, or I think nothing. So you're just going to be waiting around, and then it's like, oh, that's it? All right, well, whatever. Last logo, and then you're out. What else? This is DC, space sci-fi, superhero action, adventure, drama, sci-fi. See, a lot of this is like James Gunn saying like, oh, we're going to make this into an epic sci-fi space adventure, whatever, something. And like, I guess it sort of is, but it wasn't like mind-blowing, I guess, I don't know, something like that. But amongst like all the other things he said, he's doing all these things. He can't do a Batman movie. He's doing a prequel Wonder Woman show, okay? The only one he's done out of the 3 main is Superman. And it's like, he can't do Batman, and he's sort of doing Wonder Woman, and that's it. It's like, what else? Like, I don't get it. If there really is some plan, it just seems all over the place, And then Lanterns looks good, I think. I'm looking forward to that. People are mad because there's no green in it. I don't know, I'm 50-50 because, I mean, like, yeah, it's a trailer, whatever. The point is to see the green stuff. It's like, if you don't want to watch that, watch True Detective, right? Watch the original show. But this is a superhero thing, so give us superhero stuff. That's why I was excited to be like, that Superman and Lobo are in this. And so like maybe like, Lobo and Superman get in a fight, and then Lobo steals something important from Superman, and they don't realize till later. And then now they have to go break Lobo out because he's been captured or something, I don't know. And then they don't get along, so has conflict, and then there is a ticking time bomb, so keep that one. And that's what I was expecting, sort of, like almost like a mini Justice League movie. Like 3 people have to work together, and then maybe if they have to work together to go break someone out, like another superhero, or maybe Guy Gardner got kidnapped somehow, and they have to go and get him, and then they find out it's Brainiac, or maybe like a soldier of Brainiac. And that sets up the next movie or whatever. I don't know. So, yeah, kind of interesting stuff. So, I'm just going to read the plot. Kara Zor-El, a.k.a. Supergirl, joins forces with an unlikely companion on an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice when an unexpected adversary strikes too close to home. So, that is Krem, and then I won't mention it, I guess, maybe spoiler thing, but... what's it called? Ticking Time Bomb. So that's good that there is that. 6 stars, though. I don't know. That's not really good. Directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Ana Noguera. That's a thing. I don't know. Let's see. So this guy, I don't think I'm too familiar with him. He's done The Better Sister, 8 episodes of a show. Your Friends and Neighbors. Oh, I have it. I'm gonna watch that one soon. 19 episodes. Yeah, it's on the 2nd season, I think. That's cool. Dumb Money, 6 stars. Mike, and 6.9 stars, 7 episodes. Physical, 7.3 stars, 20 episodes. Pam and Tommy, they're pretty good ratings, though, so that's good. Except for Trooper, which is a TV movie, probably why. And then it got 4.2. So interesting. Directing, he did Supergirl, Discover, and Stranger Things Season 5. That's like a side thing. And then, yeah, he's directed, just 2 episodes of My Friends and Neighbors. So he produced it. What about writing? Does he write anything? No. Just does mostly that. And then he's done Apple iPhone. No, wait a minute, my short. Done Money, Apple Watch Series 7. That's kind of random. Nissan Presents, Dubai Presents. So he does like a lot of like promotional stuff or something for companies, I guess. Cool. And then, he's done a Kid Cudi music video. Pretty awesome. What did that get? Not bad ratings, I guess. He's pretty like 6 to 7 stars, maybe 7 stars on average. So that's good. At least he's got good experience. And then what is upcoming for him? Archie, and then 42.6 years. That's pretty cool. The writers are Anna Noguera, and she has done, let's see, Hightown, Prepartum, Yours, Ours, We Win. Not those 2 are kind of low. The Blacklist, that's good, high rating. The Vampire Diaries, Good Session, 7.2 stars. The Battery's Down, Molly Black, 10 episodes, 6.7 stars, not bad. The Michael J. Fox Show, not bad. Good. And then, she's actually written a bit. Well, obviously, but I mean, but not that much. 2 movies. Cool. So, wow. And then, did We Win a short? So this is basically her first movie. Oh, that's interesting that they did that. It's funny because people are saying that James Gunn obviously probably had a hand in it, but we'll see. Well, no, I don't know. I don't see his credit there, but which means he didn't do anything at all. I feel like he would get at least an EP credit, right? That would be my guess. So she has Untitled, DC Studios Wonder. So she's doing the Wonder Woman movie. Okay, so they are doing that. Let's see, Untitled Baby Love and then Teen Titans. Wait, this is her, right? Anna Noguera, right? Yeah, okay. So they're doing that. I'm gonna close this. So she is. That is interesting. Wow. So either because of this, are they gonna pull her as a writer on the next movie if this movie doesn't do well? Then, I mean, if this movie's not doing well, why? How would the Wonder Woman movie do any better? Is it done? They got to check that out. And then Teen Titans, I get it, but no. That's interesting. So I had a theory that they are I don't know what James Gunn is going to do. I really don't know if he is going to choose politics and not work with the Ellisons, who's friends with Trump and Jared Kushner or whoever, right? Whatever. And his contract is up. So he's got 2 big reasons for him to get the hell out of there, right? So I really feel like what they're going to do is if he goes out, maybe they put Matt Reeves in charge. I don't know. And then they're going to make Robert Pattinson be the Batman, I'm thinking, because it's already set up. Superman's set up. Batman's already set up over there. And then they're going to have Wonder Woman coming out, whatever this is. I got to check that out. That's 3. Right? So that's 2 here and 1 over there, Batman. All they have to do is Batman comes over to wherever and teams up and goes, hey, I need your help, Or I've been keeping tabs on Luthor, and he's bringing a guy called Brainiac here, and we need to fight him, That's it, really. And then they lose at the end, maybe someone dies, whatever, I don't know, something. So, yeah, but I don't get, what are they going to do? This is so strange. This is the writers. So nothing's really been announced. I don't even think I've heard James Gunn announce a Wonder Woman movie other than it's the whatever the show is called. Does it say it here? I don't even see it. Bane and Deathstroke. Are these really happening? There, yeah, Paradise Lost. I get what he's doing and stuff, and I really wish he did it because I like his style of filmmaking. I really like his camera work or whatever. I really like that, and I wish he can. He's able to. You know he is. But I wish he would just do all of it, and it would have the same tone, and and he could just have a couple of continuity writers who have seen his movies and keep watching them, so they fix whatever in the script to match the feeling of the movies, so it's consistent, and he writes and directs all of them. I don't get it, why they couldn't have done that, or even like a 6-picture deal or something where he does Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And then has to do a Justice League film, and then he can do 2 personal films or whatever, That would have been a better deal or something, and then we would have gotten more of a solid film, I think. I don't know. But I feel like it still is going to suffer from all the issues that Superman is apparently suffering from. I liked it, and I just feel, and then I read some stuff, and I'm like, wow, I guess it really isn't as good as I thought it was. When you read stuff, you're like, oh, that makes sense. That's a bad choice for the character, or whatever. Like portraying Superman as being weak, that he gets beat up, and the first moment you see him, he's weak. Which I get the idea. I like the idea, right? It's cool. But then you think about it, you're like, wait, what? No, you know what? I don't think Superman should ever lose. I think, like when you think about it, would be cool to see him lose, whatever, all this stuff, right? And you can beat him if you have kryptonite. So it's not like he is invincible. But I think the better choice would be to just let him be invincible and he doesn't lose. I don't know, because yeah, like even in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, he kills Zod at the end. Superman does not kill people. That's it. That is the rule. If you do that, he's not Superman. In the next movie, you got to reveal that was a clone of Superman or Bizarro or something, because Superman doesn't kill people. And that's that. That's just how it is, really. I don't know. And then look, Crypto. That's another issue. And a sub-issue is the dog being such a focus on, and that James Gunn apparently said that he figured out how to write Superman through Ozu, whatever, his dog. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. It should have been called Crypto, and the Adventures of Superman, right? That, and in a sub plot or a title called the Justice League or whatever, Justice Gang, I don't know. It's very strange. Now that you think about the movie, like I've ripped the movie apart and I'm like, wow, I like some parts. It's really cool. I like it. I love his filmmaking. I love the color of it. I love all the things. It's cool. And, and then all the issues, whatever. So I don't know, but this is interesting. Yeah, he's just canceled stuff. They've canceled stuff. I mean, what else are they going to cancel? If he leaves, what's the point? I don't get it. They're going to bring somebody else in and reboot the DCU again? How? Like, it's just going to keep going, and that's it. Until they get somebody who isn't going to be political. Is that really all it takes? Is like somebody who is not a liberal or a Republican? Like, it needs to be someone who's just so politically neutral, if that is even possible, and they will be put in charge. Hey, look, we're still on this Wonder Woman film, right? Here's a trivia. Marks the second film interpretation of Wonder Woman. Originally, Patty Jenkins wrote a treatment for a third Wonder Woman movie starring Gal Gadot, but it was canceled by James Gunn and Peter Safran once they became presidents of DC Studios. I just cannot believe that. I can't believe Zack Snyder had 2 more movies, Justice League Part 2 and 3 or whatever. And that was it. They could have just wrapped it up. If they didn't want to do any of these other things, they could have squeezed it in to Part 2 and 3 of Justice League and made them 4 hours each, 8 hours total, with all of the ideas, all the movies they were going to make, squeeze Flash into it, squeeze this Wonder Woman film into it. You know, that's what they, you know, I don't know. That would have been a great idea. And just let them finish that. And at least it'd be done. Because, you know, and they could actually put it on their resume, started a DC universe, completed a DC universe. You know, I can't believe it. It's insane. Why can't they allow that? And then it's just going to happen again. It's literally going to happen again. Soon. James Gunn and Peter Safran, I don't know what his political point of view is, but they both have to make a choice soon. And like it bums me out because James Gunn likes this stuff. He likes comic books, whatever, you know, whether or not you like his portrayal or whatever, you know, interpretation and all of that. He's good at what he does. You know, you have to give him, you know, props for that. He is good at what he does. But it just sucks because now the universe is going to start and stop again. Incomplete. All those movies I just read, they're not going to happen. All of these. If he leaves, boom. They're like, unless the contract is up. He can do whatever he wants. I can't believe it. And you know what he's going to choose. Oh, I don't know what to say. That is so wild though. That's like, how unfortunate. That is a possible future. No, it's so unfortunate. And the other writer is Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster. Yeah, so they created the character and all that. That's if I don't. How is that gonna go? Does she need to? What is her contract? Is it has to make a certain amount of money, and then she is confirmed to be the writer for that Wonder Woman movie? And is that Wonder Woman film before or after Paradise Lost? You know, it's like, yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's strange. It's so stupid. Like, besides what we want, what about the studio, what I just said, starting and completing a project? How is that not the goal? Like, I don't get it. Like, you know, like if you quit most of your jobs, it's like you quit all your jobs. If you leave and put your 2 weeks in, that's way different, you know, than quitting. So that's kind of like that in a way. It's just, man, and he's probably going to go back to Marvel. And then, I don't know, what is he going to do there? He's really good. I like all 3 Guardians films. They're really amazing. And it's just like, they're really good. They're very emotional. The 3rd one is it's so sad and all this. It's so crazy, you know, and his filmmaking, his filming technique is so cool. When he fights Adam Warlock, whatever, it's so awesome. You know, all the shots. And if he goes back to that, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. They either have, Marvel already has their plan, or they've already talked to James Gunn saying, hey, if you want to come back here, because we have somebody set up, but you got to let us know, you know, at least a month before the contract ends, because whatever, you know, and yeah, so that's, I don't know, possibly, who knows, like those could be talks behind closed doors, as well as, yeah, I don't know, other plans. Anyways, yeah, I'm just ranting a lot about all my thoughts about where this is gonna go. I know I'm just this is just about Supergirl, but I do think this is all very important to talk about all the other things because it does all connect, you know? And yeah, so down here, this is the cast. I think David Cornsworth's not even really in it. It's so, why couldn't they have just done it where, you know, like at some point, she calls for him, and he has to go save her. And it's a trick or something, and they capture Superman now with kryptonite, of course, and now he's involved. And then she has to go get help, and she gets Lobo's help to go save Superman. You know, anything. There's so many different variations of these things that you can do. But yeah, and then they also confirmed that the message of Jor-El to Superman is to take over the planet is true. They confirmed that. And that was a big thing that people are like confused about. They're like, wait, what? So the message wasn't corrupt or whatever, right? I think that was a thing. It was real. It was take over Earth, all this stuff. And it was true. But I don't know if that... Is that correct? Is that the correct thing to do? I don't think it was. To change Superman, like, what... his... You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. To change Superman. I don't know if that is correct. I feel like it's incorrect. And they should not have done that. And they did do that anyways. Yeah, okay, so see down here, producers, James Gunn. So, I mean, there's no way that he wasn't literally over Anna Naguera's shoulder the whole time. There's no way. There's no way. They probably said, hey, look, Anna, we want you to write this, but don't worry, I'm gonna be right next to you. Here's my phone number, whatever. Call me direct, text me, anything you need. I will help. I'll always be there. On set too, everything. You know, because people are saying it feels a little James Gunn-like. So, yeah, even though it's directed by Craig Gillespie, whatever. Interesting. So then James Gunn shadowed both of them, or what? Or you know, like he must. Yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting. We'll read the summary for this real quick. Reviewers say Supergirl delivers strong. And then here is the AI summary for the movie. Reviewers say Supergirl delivers strong performances, particularly praising Millie Alcock's charismatic lead and Jason Momoa's scene-stealing Lobo. Alongside visually impressive action sequences. However, the film disappoints with weak, cliched writing, a forgettable one-dimensional villain, and problematic pacing that drags through subplots. Many criticize its derivative nature and lack of originality within the superhero genre. Oh my god. Opinions sharply divided on engagement, with some finding it entertaining while fun, while others felt bored. The emotional depth and character development remain inconsistent throughout. Wow. Jesus, James Gunn is a good writer, you know? He can structure his stuff. So that is just really weird. That makes me think that James Gunn didn't have anything to do with it then, you know? I don't know. I mean, whether you like it, again, whether you like his stuff or not, he is very creative. Everything in that Superman movie is I've never seen it before, you know? I mean, except, except for like one or two, but overall, totally new stuff, you know? Like, just new ideas, you know? Like the big monster getting small, all that, whatever. I don't know. Whatever you think. The ideas are very creative with that. So, yeah, I don't know. But this is unfortunate that he did. Maybe he just was like, hey, you wrote this. You're going to take the heat for this if it's bad. And I'm not going to help you at all because you need to learn, basically, or something. I don't know. So, let's see. So, 902 reviews on IMDb. 10 out of 10. Amazing from beginning to end. Wow. 6 out of 10, just terrible. This was a waste of time, my time and money. I really hoped it would be good, but the writing and acting was just bad. Obviously, bad directing had something to do with it. We'll be streaming very soon. Yeah. I probably won't even watch it again for free. It's not going to be free. It's going to be like $15, probably. Hopefully, they will do a better job of casting and writing for any future projects. Molly just didn't fit the role. If this is true, then her success or her inclusion in the Wonder Woman film is based off of the success of this film. I don't know. Unless her contract is 3 movies or something, I don't know what it could be. I would have done a contract with just like, hey, this movie needs to make 80 million. When it does, you can direct the Wonder Woman film, you know. But if it doesn't, no. That would have been it. Rather than doing a 3-movie deal, and then this is our first movie and it's bad, and we're going to have to endure 2 more bad, possibly bad films. I don't know. Because this is a complete waste. This should have been like Man of Tomorrow. This should have been the sequel or something, or a different movie. And Supergirl and Lobo should have been a side thing. Or the other thing I was saying, this movie should have just been like 60 million or 50. They could have done that. They have the volume. There's no excuse. There really isn't, you know. They have the volume. They have AI. And they should have done whatever they had to keep it cheap. Like 50 million, you know, 60 million. Then they would have been fine, you know, or even less. And yeah, or make a little mini series out of it. But yeah, I think she should have been a side character, like how she's gonna be in Man of Tomorrow, I believe. So next one is 10 out of 10. It was a good movie. It was good, really good regarding to cinematography and Millie's performance. I can finally approve Millie Alcock as well as Supergirl. Lobo's the GOAT. Cinematography 8 out of 10, CGI 8 out of 10. I heard Crypto is pretty bad or whatever. Or not convincing. Performance 8 out of 10. Writing 6 out of 10. Okay. Music 6 out of 10. Yeah, the needle drops are strange or something. I don't know. They did like 40 different song selections for the end, apparently. And then 6 out of 10 overall, it was a good movie to watch, even though better script would have made it better. Hoping to see the next movie with better script. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, he actually gave it a 10 out of 10? That totally contradicts your score, doesn't it? What? That's bizarre. 6 out of 10, super mixed bag. Adaptation is always a tricky thing. Turning a work from one medium into another requires change, but holding on to or letting go of the wrong elements can fundamentally alter what made the work worth adapting in the first place, which is exactly what I think happened here. It is also tricky because of expectation. People with preconceived ideas about what they're going to watch have to let go of what they already know, while those who know nothing may be left playing catch-up where knowledge has been presumed. This reviewer is familiar with the original work, so my opinion of Supergirl is already clouded with prior judgments. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You either make it for hardcore nerds or you make it for the new audience, you know, and alienate people. I think you can do both if you're clever. I don't know. Whether I try to leave them at the door or not. Whilst the comic has obvious pacing problems from a filmmaking perspective, it is not necessarily the change of the story arc that is the biggest issue. It is the fundamental change in what Supergirl is trying to teach her companion has been lost from the comic. From someone who has read it, this feels like an unnecessary loss, one that actually changes Supergirl's character for the worse. That said, judging a film against its source material is slightly unfair. I don't know. I think it's fair. I don't know. And it's not that the character changes don't offer further interesting exploration. Yeah, I don't know. I think that you need to change it slightly and trick the people and do something new or move it slightly. Like, I mean, in the Flash movie, Supergirl is in place of Superman from the Flashpoint Paradox, story. So, yeah, I don't want to say too much. Well, I don't know, it doesn't matter, but, so they switched that, but it's still the same idea, see? So they can do that, just keep the story, but change some things, Then it says, the reason the comic comparisons are raised in the first place is not because of the changes the film makes. It is because the film offers enough flaws that the comparisons can be critically drawn. Had the film been of perfect construction, whatever perfect is in the film world, any comparison could have been dismissed. To me, perfect I don't know about that, but that's just following what a story structure is. Either Kurt Vonnegut or not. Or what the South Park guys explained. A movie like this and that. Whatever. They have a good video on YouTube you can watch. But it has to be that. That to me is a perfect film, Like I think Astro Boy is a really, really good film. Hoppers, I would say, is that kind of stuff. Like a movie where they learn a lesson or something, or like an actual character arc. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Yeah, I watched it last night. That has some really good character stuff in it. It's all jokey and beautiful and amazing. And then it gets all serious, this out of nowhere. And I love that, like the reality. And he learns a lesson, and it's pretty interesting. But that to me is perfect. The movie can suck, but you need to follow what a storytelling structure is, and yeah, at least this movie, Supergirl, has a ticking time bomb. That's very important. Conflict is important. There's other stuff. So then it says Supergirl, however, is a hopscotch of a film with an unsatisfying narrative pace and an antagonist in Matthias Schoenaerts Krem, who was never truly allowed to antagonize within the disjointed structure. And they changed him too, unfortunately. This is something of a road trip film mixed with an action revenge film. The issue with mixing the two is that the film can't decide whether the journey and the lessons come from the road taken or from the final confrontation with its elusive villain. Wow. Let's face it, films like John Wick work because the character is running down a corridor full of doors with people leaping out of those doors to stop him. A road trip movie, by contrast, requires you to open the doors yourself and learn from each problem before moving on, which incites change by the time you reach the final door. That's very funny. Any change Supergirl reaches here feels unearned. Partly this is because her journey is dictated by her companion's emotional arc more than her own, something the comic is acutely aware of. This isn't to say the character of Supergirl is lost. It just means that any change in Kara is never really realized. This wouldn't have been a problem had the film decided to focus on Ruthie's emotional arc, because the character of Supergirl really didn't need to change. The effort the film takes to establish Kara is there from the get-go. She is a flawed, deeply lost, and lonely individual, a woman looking to forget her past who lacks the ability to truly connect with anyone, yet is bound by a moral conscience to do the right thing. Millie Alcock's performance is second to none at capturing this. Her portrayal of a broken hero is complex and utterly believable. Even at its most narratively disjointed, or when the pace drags to a near halt, Alcock provides enough screen presence and acting chops to save the film and drag it, kicking and screaming into its next scene. Well, I mean, that is a good thing and a separate thing. Being dragged from scene to scene is exactly what Supergirl is. It is a film of combined scenes stuck together without a proper through line to bind them. This means each one lives and dies on its own merits. It sounds like it could have been a series, like a little episodic thing, like The Mandalorian Grogu could have been. And an action scene that isn't offering something new visually, or a dialogue-driven scene packed without real emotional heft can just end up falling flat. The balance between where the film gets these moments right and where it gets them wrong is on a knife's edge. When it works, Supergirl's high moments are truly out of this world. At times, director Craig Gillespie shows a completely unique vision of a dirty, bitter universe that captures action in a delightfully vibrant way. That's weird because I heard it's not too colorful. He shows a clear understanding of how to create emotional connection and detail character on screen, taking the time to show a character's emotional response to a situation rather than just the physical one, something missing from most superhero films, but the moments where the originality and emotional connection is lost come in equal measure. It leaves the film at either highs or lows, with the eventual outcome being an average one that feels like a lost opportunity. I don't doubt there is a great film here somewhere. I doubt it was lost on the cutting room floor, though. I heard there weren't actually different alternate things that they filmed that they could use as well. It seems more like the director needed the option to film more scenes and really pin down whose story he wanted to tell. That razor focus would have made it clear when the film required to give it the narrative drive it always lacked and probably deserved. Man, that's so... This is kind of unfortunate. I thought it... I can't believe it passed the test screenings. Well, nobody said, James, listen to me, please, don't make this movie. Give us Batgirl instead or something, you know? Gillespie has proved he can handle a character arcs with real pace and skill. From Tanya to Cruella, he just needed to decide between Supergirl or Ruthie here. Had he done so, he could have produced something truly wonderful. Instead, we have a watchable film with some wonderful moments and some woefully flat ones as well. Man, sounds like studio interference to me. Despite this, the idea of watching another Supergirl is genuinely exciting. Exploring the universe outside of Earth is a thrilling prospect, and Gillespie has effortlessly created a world with real texture and richness. What did this guy give it? I thought it was low. Like 6 out of 10. Wow, but it sounds like he gave it a 10 out of 10. Well, that's probably good enough. 7 out of 10, entertaining but forgettable. 1 out of 10, not worth watching. 10 out of 10. 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Truly painful. Oh my god. Okay, I think we're good with this. Now we can go check out some Rotten Tomatoes reviews. All right, so here is this. 54%. Wow. That is very strange. And then 76% from the audience. So it is entertaining. That's good. Which means that overall, most people don't know the comics. So they only have the movie to base it off of. See, they saw Superman. I don't know who saw Peacemaker. I don't understand that. Half the audience can't see it then, I would guess. And then they watch this, and yeah, I don't know. That's so weird though. Critics' consensus, Millie Alcock brings a swagger to Kar-Zor-El that'd make Krypton proud. In this otherwise familiar origin story, dawning a promising new hero in the DCU who's still waiting for an adventure that matches her vigor. That doesn't sound too positive, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Critics' reviews. David Sims from The Atlantic gave it a splat, saying Supergirl, the character, still has a lot going for her, presumably including a future in the DC universe. Yes, it's going to be the next movie. Supergirl, the film, meanwhile, is only a mildly diverting whiff. Well, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with James Gunn's contract and all that. I guess, if he set it all up, you could just kind of continue the aesthetic, or something. It's probably not too tough if he leaves. It's probably really not a big deal if he leaves. Then Dana Stevens from Sleet gave it a splat, saying despite an appealingly rough-edged title character played by Scrappy Aplomb by Millie Alcock, this second installment in what DC is positioning as an unfolding multi-character franchise defaults to too many of the cliches of superhero cinema at its worst. Jeez, come on. There is so much material to draw from. And then Stephanie Zacharek from Time Magazine gave it a splat, saying the action sequences are jerky and disjointed. Supergirl's laser eyes constitute the only occasional, if inadequate, jolt of life. Susan Camyab, this Chick's Flicks, gave it a C- splat, saying Millie Alcock delivers a humorous, heartfelt, and emotionally resonant performance. Unfortunately, the uninspired story and dystopian production design weighed down the film, slowing its pacing and preventing Alcock from fully taking flight. Nick Hasted from the Arts Desk, gave it 2 out of 5 splats, saying 2 films into James Gunn's DC Extended Universe reboot, Supergirl already feels like a fill-in. Yeah, I know. That's darn, And this guy, Abhimanyu Mathur from Hindustan Times, gave it 2.5 out of 5 splats, saying Millie Alcock does everything in her power to shoulder this superhero adventure, but is ultimately let down by a wafer-thin plot, a villain who inspires neither awe nor fear, and an overall lack of soul. Then the audience reviews, Fabian gave it 3.5 stars. It was a fun movie, but nothing epic to shake up the DC universe. It was entertaining. Anthony gave it 5 stars, saying super good movie. Both kids loved it. That's good. Mario gave it 4.5 stars, saying great movie in my opinion. Felt like a side mission than anything else, but seeing Lobo was great. Definitely worth a watch. Travis gave it 3 stars, saying not bad, but not something I would recommend to friends or family. Jesus. Wesley gave it 1.5 stars, saying the whole point of superhero movies is for us to go through the journey along with the superhero. I think the acting was good, but something. Yes. Jesus Christ. I mean, why don't they like print that rule out and put it in the studio everywhere so the writers come in? What do I do? What do I do? Oh yeah. Go on the journey with the hero or whatever. You know, like Jesus. The number one rule or requirement. Nate gave it 4 stars, saying excellent action and pacing. Wow, really? Left a bit to be desired towards the end? What? 100% rewatchable with the same enjoyment. I mean, that's possible, but that's what I said with Superman. That's what I said with Men of Steel and then Justice League. So, and I watched some explanation videos of why they're not as good as we think they are, and I think they're right. This is so unfortunate. I can't believe it. I wonder what it's going to end up at the end. 54%. Do you think it's gonna? I don't know how it works. Is it going to go higher? 60%. At least the audience is enjoying it. So, okay. So yeah, that is Supergirl. We can go down here and check out any extra stuff. So Superman ended up at 7 stars. The show was okay until they did a deliberate, straight up, like, what's that called? Political type of a thing. I was like, come on, just leave that stuff out of it. You know? But anyways, I love Martian Manhunter. He was really cool. What else? Yeah, I liked it. I liked all the crossover stuff with the Flash and all that, whatever. That was pretty cool. And Melissa Benoit should have been the actor. That would have been hilarious. Like Grant Gustin. He should have been the Flash. He got totally screwed over. He deserves it. Whether it was good or bad, whatever. He deserved a shot or a chance. You know, over Ezra Miller, I guess. Now. I mean, Ezra Miller, he's okay, whatever. But his portrayal, whatever. But I think Grant Gustin should have gotten a chance. I think that was a little unfair. He didn't even get mentioned or add a cameo in the Flash movie, which is really rude. So Superman ended up with 7 stars at the end. See, I feel like it should have been like a 6.8, maybe. I don't know. It is. I guess it's cool. I think what it is it looks cool. It feels cool, you know. But when you like look into it, you're like, oh, why do they do that? Why? Oh yeah. They shouldn't have done that. Yeah, they should have left that. You know, I think that's like the final thoughts you get afterwards, and eventually you're like, I don't know, like that wasn't it. You know, basically. Let's see what else. So rated PG-13 for sequences of strong violence, action, language, and smoking. I mean, Jesus, why didn't they just do rated R? It's so dumb. See, here's a trivia. According to James Gunn, in this movie, we see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he's an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock chip off of Krypton, and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life. She couldn't look away. Did someone hold her head? Maybe Krem forced her to watch and hold her eyelids open, like a Clockwork Orange when he goes into the thing or whatever. I don't know. Gunn indicates that this incarnation is an Argo City survivor rather than being from Krypton itself, more akin to her comic book debut in 1959. It's, I mean, so he reverted to the original idea. I don't know. I don't know if that is the issue. I think plot part, whatever. I think that's a separate issue. So, yeah, I don't know. This, yeah, that's, yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like they, I don't know. She couldn't look away. That's my first question. I don't get it. Did she watch them all die out of respect? She, whatever that means. She watched all of them die. She was like, I'm so sorry, and respected them, saluted them as they die, got slaughtered, I guess. I mean, look, it says in terrible ways. Terrible ways. Like, not like, in their sleep or a heart attack or something kind of normal or whatever, but a terrible way. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. What else is there? The budget was $170 million. Jesus Christ. Worldwide, it has to make another amount. And even then, it's budget. Gosh. $170 million, and it made 38. Unbelievable. It should have cost 30 million. And it would have been fine. Wow. I don't know what to say. That is really just going to be the final thing. I can't believe it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I know I'm a little late, but my guess would have been, yeah, it's probably not going to do well from all the stuff that people are saying. And then, I don't know. Yeah, mixed bag for the DCU. That is so weird. It is definitely going to go to VOD real soon. So yeah, I would have guessed that this movie probably would have flopped based off the budget alone. I would have guessed high, of course, 50 million or 60. I would have gotten the worldwide correct, but yeah. So unfortunately, Supergirl flopped with 38 million or whatever, 40 million out of a $170 million budget. And I guess a good thing is that it came in second place. Okay, so now we can check out the Jackass movie, Best and Last. I guess this is the 5th or 6th one, I think. Let me see. I think it's number 5. Pretty interesting. It's kind of strange that, like, Bam isn't there, and unfortunately, of course, Ryan Dunn, but it's kind of weird. And it's weird because, like, this is supposed to mirror how the first movie is. It's, and they started with a shopping cart. Now they ended it with a shopping cart. But it's kind of weird because, like, there's less people in it. I don't know. Anyways, I guess this movie is getting kind of good reviews. They say it's very gross and stuff or whatever. But that comes with what this is. So this is pretty cool. It's mostly kind of, like, nostalgic and stuff with a little bit of new stuff. Some people were a little... like underwhelmed or something, or disappointed. I don't know, whatever. But it still had fun with it, so that's good. But yeah, so we can watch the trailer now.
Reminder, the stunts in this movie were performed by professionals.
Hi, I'm Wee Man.
I'm Bam Margera.
I'm Preston Lacey.
I'm Chris Pontius.
So for your safety and the protection of those around you,
I'm Dave England. I'm Danger Aaron. I'm Steve. I'm Ryan Dunn.
do not attempt any of the stunts you have just seen.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to the first day of our last film. What are you feeling? I'm sad.
Does it make you sad, Chris?
No, I'm not in touch with my emotions.
I would like to introduce you to our new cast member, Larry!
Nice to meet you all. Big fans.
Oh my gosh, he got you!
Give me a bucket of water so I can throw it on Larry.
25 years and we haven't learned a goddamn thing.
Can someone go get the shot collar for your penis? Poopy said he wants to try it.
Hi, I'm Chris.
You're taking it to a whole other level.
Yep.
Look pretty happy about it.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
This is the escape room from hell. Start the game. I think we're moving to the next room.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
That is a jump. Good work. You got it in the stomach pretty good. We are going to be making history today with the first robot prostate exam.
This is what Jackass looks like at 50. You see the finger on that thing?
That's not a finger. It's a claw.
Let's let it rip, baby.
So yeah, that's cool. Looks fun. Looks pretty awesome and stuff. It looks like it's going to be more of like, I don't know how they're going to do it. Like if there's going to be a presenter or something and be like, here, you know, remember this scene? You know, because there's also stuff in it though. An hour and a half. So that's interesting. Rated R, of course. So strange because like a lot of these people have developed like PTSD or like, you know, whatever issues from this. Like this Dave England, I think he's all messed up. And Pontius, oh no, whatever this guy is, Danger Aaron, right? They're I think have the worst. They have like the worst, I think, PTSD and stuff because this guy, I think Aaron was in the bear one. Remember when the bear comes in the room? And then what's the other one? This guy, England, I think he got in something happened to him. I don't know, but they have like crazy PTSD. I think they said that or something, whatever, which is I don't know. I mean, the other part of this movie is like, it's such a wild series. Like, I guess you could almost consider it like snuff in a way because it's entertainment, but real. But, you know, snuff is more murder, I think. I don't know unless it's just real in general. But unless, like, yeah, snuff is this kind of anything that's real. I thought it was specifically murder, but yeah, I feel like this is technically like a snuff, a subgenre or whatever of snuff or something like that, maybe. Then they tags our comedy documentary follows the Jackass crew as they perform their final series of dangerous stunts and pranks, marking the end of the franchise. I was thinking that, like, I think they should do the 0.5 thing because they're not going to do a 0.5 like the first one, but I feel like they should have done a 0.5 just for the fans and for the culture or whatever, you know what I mean, for the franchise. And they can make a little bit extra money, but they can also do maybe a little bit of extra stuff that they didn't put into this movie. I am really surprised that it's an hour and 32 minutes. I mean, that is really awesome, you know? It's like not too much, not too, I mean, I guess you could consider it too little, but an hour and a half is a good amount of time, and it forces you to get to the stuff quicker, I would say. 6.8 stars so far, directed by Jeff Tremaine. We could check him out and see what else they're doing, because maybe they're going to have, maybe they've announced it on here of like what the next one's going to be. I feel like Johnny Knoxville is almost old enough that he could play Irving Zisman or whatever his name is from Bad Grandpa. Irving, I forgot his name. I think, you know, it's pretty hilarious. He doesn't need much makeup anymore, which would make it way, way easier. He could almost just do Bad Grandpa for the rest of his life, you know? And then from that, he could, you know, do movies or do even reboot Jackass with a new cast or something, and he's like the OG guy or something, you know. But yeah, I don't know. That could be kind of cool. Let's see what else we're gonna do. So 4.5. So yeah, this is number 5. Jackass Best and Last, concept by, and then Jackass the podcast. So that's what they're gonna kind of do. You know what? Yeah, now that is a good idea. That if Johnny Knoxville doesn't want to do a movie or be, you know, Irving or the Bad Grandpa, he can just do this And then, yeah, which is kind of similar to just doing one thing that can kind of suit where he is in his life. So that's good. But this, I mean, think about like, that's crazy. They're going to have so much to talk about. Look at that. Okay, so there you go. So that's what he's going to do. So he's basically set for the next phase of this whole thing. So that's really awesome. Wow, this is going to be so funny. This is going to be pretty cool. I think that like this is going to be hilarious. They're going to have so much to talk about. And of course, the first one they have Steve-O on. I mean, as the premiere, I guess. That is going to be so cool. This is a good idea. Do you know how? And they get to show all the footage. I bet you they have so much unseen footage, and Steve-O does too. Wow. This could be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I guess that it would have to be a visual one. I don't know about listening to it. You'd have to actually sit down and watch it, which they should also make it like a TV show, like a movie, so it like a show more, so that because it is kind of showy, sort of. I don't know if they're going to do stunts in the studio or whatever, you know, and all that and pranks, but unless it's more of like they've agreed, like, hey, we're no more prank stuff, no more of that. That's only in the movie. We're done with all of that. Unless they're still friends and they're still gonna mess with each other, you know, that's different. Oh yeah, I don't know, but but Johnny Knoxville can't get any more concussions. He is at such a point that he is so fragile that they can't really do much to him or whatever. You know what I mean? They can't prank him and push him down a flight of stairs. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So they have to go light on the pranks to him, as well as like he is such an OG. The stuff he's done on his own, just willingly doing stuff. He is a real daredevil. Like he has, I don't know. I guess really no fear if you think about it. And then Steve-O too. The stuff that he's done, like they're both the most hardcore on the show, I guess, besides Ryan and Bam, of course, I guess. Yeah, they were all pretty. It's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Johnny Knoxville is the most gnarliest. The stuff he's done in comparison, you know, I guess it would be Johnny Knoxville, then Steve-O, then Bam. I don't know. Something like that. But anyway, I think the show is going to be really cool. That's great. Like they're only at 3 episodes so far, so it just kind of started. Oh my god, I think this is gonna be funny. I didn't even know they're doing this. I'm gonna look this up and subscribe to it after and out all that. So that's pretty much it. So Jeff Tremaine doesn't do anything else. Oh, here we go. Let's see. No, these are all old. Oh, he really doesn't. So he's gonna do this podcast thing. So that's his new thing. So Jeff Tremaine is basically done with making movies? I mean, for now at least. What else is he going to do? What has he done? Mostly Jackass stuff, Rob Dyrdek stuff, so MTV related. So he works for MTV or whatever. So he might even be under contract for them. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they could do, I don't know what so this might be ridiculous. This might be canceled. They could revive some things if they wanted to. This Jackass podcast is gonna be like, this is gonna hold over for a long time. They're gonna, I think there's a lot of stories that if they do 8, I don't know. Are they gonna do an episode every week forever, or are they gonna do like 20 episodes like a season and then do sections? Because they could run out of stuff to talk about. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, we'll see. So that's good that Jeff Tremaine is working on that. This is pretty funny. Jason Acuna is like actually a writer on the show. There must be some structure to these things, right? There must be some sort of like planning, and I wonder if there is a script and storyboarding. Maybe there is. You know, like, I don't know. I'm sure there kind of isn't. I'm sure there's just like, okay, you guys are going to stand there. The prank is going to go here. And then we want Johnny here. and we're going to have a camera there and here and whatever. And here's your spaces to stay within and all that. And then go. And that's it. You know, because it's not really a movie. They would cut if something happens, right? If something starts happening that's not part of the script or the plan, they'd probably cut it. Other than that, I feel like the cameras would just keep rolling, you know? And the editing must be so easy. There's not much to cut out. There's not, I mean, if you do in real time camera switching, you don't have to really edit later at all. You know, just use OBS, switch in real time, and no editing because it's like long take, you know? There's, it's like a long take skit or whatever, you know? Let's see what else. Well, this is this Jason Weeman. So he's actually written some stuff. So, wow, I didn't know that. Maybe he is like a writer and everything. Oh, that's an actor. Well, he's written 7 things though, but this is mostly for this. So do you think he's tasked at doing that or be good at that? Because concepts by. So what, he comes up with the ideas or something? So he must text Johnny and he's like, hey, I got another one. I have another one. I have one where that big guy can be King Kong and we're going to fly RC planes around him. Right? Whatever. And he gets to be the damsel in distress, I think. So maybe, you know, maybe a lot of these ideas are Wee Man's ideas. That's funny. I never really thought about that. Upcoming for him is Chronological. Ethan is, Spinal Tap 2. That's funny. And then Average Bloke. Yeah, well, that's pretty hilarious that he is like pretty, like also skilled in that other way. I mean, I think, I'm pretty sure Steve-O does editing, doesn't he? I think he does stuff like that. And then Tori Bellecci, and then JP, man, I guess. Let's see. So this guy's done, Model Maker. Wow, visual effects. Holy crap, that's cool. Van Helsing, Model Maker. Peter Pan, Model Maker. Industrial Light and Magic? Or ILM? I don't know what that is. Model Maker. Wow. For Galaxy Quest. Oh, that's so cool. And then actors, he's been in Motor Mythbusters, Creature Features, The Orville. That show's kind of funny. 1 episode. And then R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. And then Art Department, Scooby-Doo Set Designer, and Sphere Carpenter. Wow, he must have started as that. Look at that. He went from here to here to here to here. Wow, there you go. That's a hopeful story for upcoming actors and stuff. Blackman is the third guy. He's more in the art part. So production designer. So he sets up what the looks are and everything in the sets and all that, whatever. So he's in charge of that. So that's cool. And then the stars are the usual. Pretty cool. Bam did not show up for, I think, a legitimate reason, but his parents went instead. So that's good because I feel like with all the stuff recently, like it would have been better for him to go or whatever. And if he didn't go and the parents didn't go, I think it would have caused more, you know, like bad blood or hatred or whatever, you know, add more beef to each other or to the beef, really. Brian Dunn. Wow. I hope that'd be cool if they put some unseen footage of him. Then this Poopy's guy's in it. Zach Holmes, he is so big. So big. It's so wild. Like, I don't know. Paul Walter Hauser is in it. That's so funny. Adam Ray is in it. That's cool. And here is the summary. The viewers say Jackass Best and Last delivers genuine laughs and nostalgic appeal for longtime fans, celebrating over 2 decades of cultural impact. However, the film faces heavy criticism for recycling 60 to 70% old footage from previous entries. Wow, that's weird. Creating an uneven theatrical experience. Opinions are sharply divided on whether it provides a satisfying farewell, with some calling it perfection, while others finding it disappointing and unworthy as a finale, better suited for streaming than theaters. Wow. Well, what do you think about that? I mean, interesting. I think it's the fact that, like, the Well, I mean, they didn't trick you, best and last. So it wasn't really a trick. So, I mean, should people be that offended then? I mean, they didn't trick you. It says in the title, best and last, meaning probably the best of what they've done and last things that we couldn't include, and something, I don't know. So yeah, but I don't know. But, it saves, like, the thing is this. If somebody watched all 4 of them, and then this one, then you went to go see it, I could see being mad, like, we just saw all of this again. I get that. But, it does help you, because now you don't have to go back and watch those movies anymore. You literally, like, you go to this one, and it has all the old ones in it, plus the new one, sort of. And there, it saves you time of having to go back and watch the old ones. So maybe it screwed them over, because now you're not going to go watch them on streaming now. They just lost another possible view and another $15. So yeah, we can now check out some actual reviews for this. It looks like there are 49 reviews. Yeah, we could check this one. So, first one is 10 out of 10, as good a send-off as any. Giving this movie a 10 out of 10 might seem a little heavy-handed, but given the circumstances of everything, I thought this was a great send-off for one of the great cultural bastions of the American 21st century. Having grown up with the Jackass show and movies, CKY videos, Viva La Bam, Wild Boys, etc., this movie mixed in older, less popular footage with newer stuff and it made for a great viewing experience. A mix of nostalgia and awe at seeing the veteran cast still going for it. Okay, well, that's good. The spirit of Jackass was as strong as ever with this final installment. The ending credits is also definitely a mandatory viewing experience. Okay, that's good. That's probably going to be hilarious. 2 out of 10, more old clips than new stunts. I'll start by saying that I love Jackass, and I've been a fan since the early MTV days, but what the hell is this? Seriously, how in the world is this approaching 7 stars? There's so many old clips. I thought we were being pranked or something. That's funny. Small nods to the best stunts or pranks would be understandable, but they make up the overwhelming majority of the movie, and the new stunts just seem lazy and centered around Steve-O's butthole. It feels so forced, and it wasn't even that funny. I think this was a cash grab and a way to cut some checks to BAM as an act of contrition for the falling out they've had. I flat out hated this installment. It wasn't worthy of being a theater release. It deserved less than the Jackass 2.5 treatment. So I think this was a cash grab and a way to cut some checks to BAM. I don't know, maybe. Is Bam even in it? That's the thing. Is there any I know he's not in it, but is there any footage in it? I mean, yeah, I guess there would technically be, but I mean, like, I don't know. But he couldn't even have been. Oh yeah, that was the thing. I think they started with it, right? Yeah, he wasn't there, so they couldn't have filmed anything anyways, That's so weird. I don't know, whatever. Well, yeah, more old clips than new stunts. The next one is 7 out of 10, a fitting farewell. I felt a sense of relief as the credits rolled. Not so much for myself, but for the entire Jackass cast, especially the older members, knowing they'll finally be able to spare their bodies from even more punishment after decades of performing reckless, painful stunts. It also feels like the right time as they're all getting older. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. I guess you can't disagree, really. Since they probably couldn't pull together enough new material to fill an entire feature, the film dips into the archives and revisits some of the series' greatest hits. I don't understand that because, like, they could, though. They could have come up with new stuff, I guess. Like, there's a lot of, they could have parodied, like, things from movies recently and made it a prank version of it or something. Let's see. So as someone who didn't really watch the show growing up, I didn't mind this approach since many of the clips were new to me. Oh, see, okay. There's a high chance that you haven't seen everything then. Well, not everyone's seen the show, I guess. I don't know. Well, I can understand why longtime fans might be disappointed by the recycled footage, though. The retrospective angle works because it highlights a contrast between their younger selves and who they've become over the past few decades. So what, there's like side interviews and they go, remember that one time? Or it's like Family Guy with the... They should have done that. They could have done a movie and then it's cutaway gags and it shows the clips of those or something. That would have been kind of funny. Remember that time we had we went into this mousetrap alley? Oh yeah. And then they show it and then they cut back. Anyway, what's for dinner? And then they cook dinner. And then there's a plot. There's like a story, but they use the Jackass clips as like memory or whatever, Family Guy, the cutaway gags, basically. Yeah, so there are a handful of new stunts with a more modern feel, but with the robot. But this film is less about topping what came before and more about enjoying one final ride with the cast and giving them a proper send-off. Well, that's interesting. I really feel like I would have, I don't know, the stuff with Bam, I would have tricked him and gotten him somewhere and then done a prank and filmed it, and before he knows it, it's done, and we put that in the movie. So at least he's part of it, you know? I don't know, or something, because like I would have forced them to go to this just to be in it for a second, you know? Trick him, have him walk through, film him, he gets mad and leaves. At least he's there, you know? Because he just, you know, hated or loved, whatever that is, you know, the situation, he still should have been there because he's part of Jackass. So it is 1 out of 10, not the bang we expected, a missed send-off. As longtime fans of Jackass the movie and the franchise as a whole, this installment was a major disappointment. I expected this series to go out with a bang, something raw, chaotic, and genuinely funny, not a film weighed down by cheesy effects and overproduced moments. What made Jackass great was its authenticity, a mix of outrageous new stunts, unseen archival clips, and an unmistakable chemistry between the crew. Instead, this felt overly staged and lacking the spontaneity that defined our earlier entries. There was also a noticeable absence of meaningful tributes or footage of the late Ryan Dunn. Well, that might be for a reason, which longtime fans would have deeply appreciated. Even the core elements felt missing. There was little to no skateboarding, no BMX clips, and none of the extended crew or familiar faces who made appearances over the years. It felt stripped down in all the wrong ways. The inclusion of Rachel also felt out of place, simply adopting the aesthetic wearing Thrasher and Vans. Oh, okay, well, doesn't automatically align someone with the culture or spirit that Jackass built over decades. See, that's the thing. There really is this sort of culture thing, you know, and and that's just how it is. The casting choice didn't resonate and felt disconnected from what fans expect from the group. Oh, yeah, the casting choice. So what? They got like a Gen Z or a millennial or some whatever person to kind of look like the aesthetic of this or whatever, rather than like this person should have been voted into the group or whatever, you know, like Odd Future with Lou. He was in the crowd and he kept showing up and showing up and showing up to every show, I think. And then ASAP or one of them said, hey, bring this guy up here. This guy's come to every show. And then he joined it. And that was organic and natural. That's just a fan. You know what I mean? Like that. This doesn't seem like that. This should have been somebody who, you know, Rachel's been to every premiere. She's met all the actors. She's been on the set of the show or somehow. She's been to every movie. She's hung out with Jeff Tremaine. The fathers are friends. I don't know, something. And then now, and she just loves Jackass. Like she eats and breathes it. And they put her in the movie and bam. Now that is more, more, you know, natural and stuff. Ultimately, it's disappointing that more effort seemed to go into promoting the film than into crafting something worthy of the Jackass legacy. This should have been a memorable send-off, but instead it feels like a missed opportunity. Wow, 9 out of 10 creates an awesome cinema atmosphere. 3 out of 10 lazy and unnecessary, not only because of old footage. 7 out of 10, not big, not clever, often hilarious. 8 out of 10, a lovely finale. 6 out of 10 nostalgic send-off, even if it doesn't quite reach the heights of the previous entries in the series. 8 out of 10, end of the road, maybe. 3 out of 10, complete money grab. Okay, maybe I'll read this one. If you grew up watching CKY and Jackass, there's no point to seeing this movie. About 70% of it is just old footage from past Jackass movies. Basically, for every 4 or 5 old clips, you get one new clip, most of which lackluster. There's basically zero reason for the new cast since a majority of them didn't do anything. Just go on YouTube and watch Jackass highlights and you'll be good. Wow. All right. And then 1 out of 10, Jackass Butthole Edition. Wow. Yeah, that's weird. I heard there's a lot of poop stuff in it too. But yeah, so that's all the IMDb reviews. Now we'll check out Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so these are the Rotten Tomatoes for Jackass Best and Last. It is at an 88% from the critics and 85% from the audience. Wow. So that's interesting. So it's not bad. It's not performing well, though. It's at, what is it at? Let me check really quick. I think it said it's at 8 million. Let me refresh this. Yeah, it's at 8 million. That's not, let me see. Hold on. 8 million, 1 million international overseas, and 10 million total. It was a $20 million film. Yeah, so that's weird that it's not doing better. I guess because of what it is. It's really adult, it's really gross, it's really dirty, immature, whatever you want to say. So it's not for everyone. So that's probably why. This is probably everybody who's gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, I don't think it's just such a I guess, niche kind of a topic, you know, to be like what I was saying, like a subgenre of snuff, because it is kind of real in a way, and it's really dirty, and not a lot of people are into that. So I don't know, but I think that the main core of the audience, whatever, has seen that. I don't think you can get new people to this. I think that's another thing. I don't think it's easy to get new fans on board. You know, you'd have to really select somebody and make, oh, you would like Jackass, you know, that type of stuff. But I don't think it's like everybody loves Jackass. It's like, you know, a lot of people aren't going to watch it. Critics reviews, Bilgi Iberi from New York Magazine / Vulture said, so what if some of the new, gave it 1 tomato. So what if some of the new crew members introduced in the previous movie don't have much to do this time around? Jackass Best and Last recaptures the communion, and maybe that's all that matters. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not a big deal, you know? Maybe those reviews are just a few of them who were disappointed. Maybe the hardcore fans, you know? You gotta think about that. The audience, and then there's the real hardcore fans, you know what I mean? But they are probably, like, they're probably the ones having, like, an issue, I guess, or, you know what I mean? Not satisfied and all that, which I get. I can understand that. So, Ed Potton, I guess, from the Times in UK, gave it 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying it's incentive in a totally crass way and also surprisingly poignant. That's funny. And then Katie Walsh from the Tribune News Service gave it 4 out of 4 tomatoes, saying it is also in my heart the best Jackass movie because it best expresses the true and meaning of Jackass, which is, of course, friendship and doing ill-advised things with butts. That's funny. I like that. That's a good review. Dustin Rowles from Pahiba gave it a tomato, saying, granted, I still laughed a lot. I'm only human, but I cringe with pity almost as much as I laughed, and I'm glad that this is the last one. That's funny. Yeah, well, yeah, that's good, I guess. And then Alchi Rengifo from Entertainment Voice gave it a tomato, saying a twisted tradition that could still be linked to the days of Buster Keaton and also Evel Knievel. While celebrating the sheer need to shock, they genuinely loved doing it, and we sense it will be hard to walk away. Age can rarely tame a truly wild heart. I mean, I heard that Johnny Knoxville cried a lot. I'm sure it's pretty emotional for him. So yeah, that's good though. It's really cool that he has like such a love for it, you know. But yeah, Ruben Romero Santos from Cinemania in Spain gave it 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying more disgusting, more revolting, much more nostalgic. 100% Jackass. That is really good to hear. That's good. That's funny. He did give it 3 out of 5 though. And the audience reviews, Finns gave it 5 stars, saying it truly is one of the best movies to watch with friends and family this summer. CB Thompson gave it 4 stars, saying bittersweet send-off and yet funny as hell, as all hell. Yolanda gave it 5 stars, saying memorable, nostalgic, gonna miss these guys. They were a core part of my childhood. Jenna gave it 5 stars, saying I like this movie. Since I've been a fan of theirs since the beginning, it was the perfect length for the type of movie. And something. Joshua gave it 3.5 stars, saying it felt shorter than the others. Honestly, Jackass movies. But it had me laughing, and that's all I really wanted. Matthew B gave it 4 stars, saying, great way to wrap it all up. Thanks for the memories, fellas. Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, that's great. Looks like people are overall liking it. I'm not sure why it's not making a little bit more. Well, I guess I just said why. I think everybody who's seen it has seen it. Okay, so Jackass best and last. I guess I would have said it probably would have popped with 30 to 40 million out of its $20 million budget. But it has unfortunately made 10 million, half of that. So it unfortunately did flop. I guess this is probably the best they could do with the situation. Oh yeah, here they are. Or here it is. Oh, it's actually $10 million budget. Okay. I searched it and it said 20. So it's actually 10. Wow, that is right on it. I don't know. That is right there. I guess it technically made it back. Maybe it did pop? Wow. I mean, I guess it barely technically popped. That means it honestly could make 20 million. It might end up with 10. It might end up with 15 to 20 million then at the end of its run. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. It said 20 million. So this might actually do better then. That is so smart. 10 million. Like, that's smart. I mean, A24 is doing that. Whatever. Obsession and Backrooms cost 800,000 and 10 million, something like that. So, wow. Yeah, well, I don't know what to say. I think maybe this movie popped. I guess that's interesting. Well, maybe it popped, I guess, but it's like right there. I think it's gonna do okay then. I didn't know it was 10 million, so that's good. Yeah, I guess. Jackass best and last popped with, I mean, here 8 million, but I guess it popped with 10 million overall, and it came in 4th place. Okay, so the next film we can check out is The Death of Robin Hood. This is from A24, I believe. And then, yeah, so that's pretty interesting. I think this is something to do with, like, it turns out that this, I don't know. Well, was Robin even real? It was a mythical character. Like, what? You know, well, I don't even know. Is it? I think a mythical character, right? I thought it was a real person, right? And then the myth or whatever is based off of that. Well, I don't know, because Robin Hood is more of like almost like an idea, right? Rob from the rich, give to the poor, whatever. And then it's like, it's more of a mindset, like a vigilante mindset in a way, or, you know, whatever, something like that. But was this a real person? Because I thought that this is like, you know, it's been revealed that the real Robin Hood was not a good person or something, and that this is what inspired this movie. I don't know. So we'll see in the trivia. I don't know. I guess it would say biography, right? All right, well, let's watch the trailer and see what it is. 1 minute. All right, well, that's fine. Oh, wait, here. What's the trailer now?
People speak of Robin Hood. Tell his stories. They're all lies. Lies that I told. so that fools would follow me into the dark. We were monsters. This world cares only about blood. And blood is all that we're given in return. I am the outlaw, Robin Hood.
Or is it more in line with being like, what's that other one? I don't know. Like, I guess, I don't know. It's just like a different version of it, like a dark version of Robin Hood. Like, you know, when they did Winnie the Pooh recently and Popeye's Revenge and all that. Is that what this is? Because maybe it's like that. It's like more of a, like, you know, a dark or rated R, like Old Man Logan. I hope that's not what people are gonna say. Maybe it's like that. Yeah, it's technically like that. It's just like an old, you know, like an R-rated adult Robin Hood type of a story, I guess. Plot is grappling with his past after a life of crime and murder. Robin Hood finds himself gravely injured after a battle he thought would be his last. In the hands of a mysterious woman, he is offered a chance at salvation. Oh, so then, so is it going to start with that him getting injured and then the rest goes on, or is it going to show what happens up to the injury and then that's his like character arc and he changes or something? Which it's like, how can you change after you've murdered a bunch of people? You know, that's kind of hard to change. Like now I'm gonna change. What did you satisfy that murder like hunger or whatever that is? Like, and now you're good. Like that's so, I don't know. That's psychotic stuff. So the rating is 6.4, which is interesting. I feel like it maybe should be a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit higher for what it is, but I guess possibly it's not amazing. What are people even saying? A great character study of a rare, more realistic Robin Hood, visceral but overly brooding. Hugh Jackman elevates a grim take. All right, swapping out during due for ultra-violence nails the target. Well, there's 2 freshes and 2 rottens on that one, but so I don't know. I guess it's like a little mix, right? The director is Michael Sarnowski. I don't think I am familiar with him. Let's see. He's on A Quiet Place Day 1. Is that the John Krasinski one? A Quiet Place. I haven't seen those, so I don't know. Pig. That's funny. Olympia. What else? Fight Night. Love Dead. He's written The Death of Robin Hood, Quiet Place Day 1, Pig, Olympia. Yeah, all those. Mirrors and Love of the Dead. The Testimony, Olympia, and that. He's actually edited. That's cool. I like that. Let's see what is upcoming. Death Stranding. He's writing and directing Death Stranding, and The Chain is a TV series. Yeah, so I'm not familiar with him, and the ratings are kind of okay, I guess. 6 stars, 5 stars, a little bit on the lower side. Well, yeah. Then he also wrote it too. The stars are Hugh Jackman, Jodie Comer, Bill Skarsgård, Jade Crute. That's, well, he's gonna give a really good performance, Bill Skarsgård. And then who else? Jupe, Faith Delaney, Clive Russell, Richie Wilson, and let's see what. So there are 99 reviews. The summary: reviewers say The Death of Robin Hood delivers stellar performances, particularly from Hugh Jackman and Jodie Comer, alongside beautiful cinematography showcasing the Irish countryside. However, the film proves deeply polarizing due to its excessively slow pacing and heavy dialogue. Really? with many find it boring and exhausting despite an engaging opening. The dark, brutal tone and contemplative character study captivate patient viewers but alienate those expecting sustained action, making it a diversive experience. However, the film proves deeply polarizing due to its excessively slow pacing and heavy dialogue. It's 2 hours, so there's a lot of talking. I mean, if it's good, is it good or bad? Because if it was Tarantino, it would be really like, you know, creative writing or whatever. Okay, so let's check out some reviews. So there, 99 reviews, 7 out of 10. A brutal, deconstructed anti-hero study that sacrifices story for extreme grimness. The death of Robin Hood completely turns the classic heroic folklore on its head, presenting a dark fiction within a fiction. Hugh Jackman delivers a raw, haunting performance as a violent, aging outlaw, consumed by the immense guilt of a lifetime spent killing. Bill Skarsgård gives us a completely different tragic take on Little John. While the concept of exploring the complicated humanity behind a folk hero is interesting, the film is held back by its excessively brooding atmosphere and distracting hyper-violence. The first half features incredibly dark, gory scenes that contrast awkwardly with the slower second half. Additionally, the minimalistic background music doesn't do much to help the pacing, making it a slow slog. It remains a decent watch for fans of gritty period pieces, but it misses the mark on being a truly great cinematic experience. That is so, that's interesting. So it's really violent. And then Little John, I don't know the story of that, or I don't remember it. What else? Slower second half, distracting hyper violence. The first half is dark, gory scenes. That is so weird. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Usually you get, like, the movie builds up, and then usually at the end is, like, the big battle. So, so maybe this movie just had no other way to do it, and they said, well, we can't move this fight scene to the end. And it's just the fight scene and the story happens here, and later we have to have this big, I guess, slow second half or whatever. That, you know, obviously it was chosen like that for a reason, you know? I wonder why. Maybe just to be different. A24 is very artful, you know, and very artsy, like, just like the way everything is structured with A24 is always in something experimental or new, and it's always often good is the thing. It's usually always good. 8 out of 10, leave an expectation at the door. If you go into this expecting a traditional Robin Hood adventure full of swashbuckling action and heroic exploits, you will be disappointed. I think the key is to leave those expectations at the door and let the film tell the story it wants to tell. Rather than treating this as another Robin Hood legend, think of it as the story of an aging outlaw forced to confront the consequences Rather than treating this as another Robin Hood legend, think of it as a story of an aging outlaw forced to confront the consequences of the life he's lived. Once I made the mental shift, I appreciated what the filmmakers were doing much more. Hugh Jackman gives a thoughtful, restrained performance as a man wrestling with guilt, survival, and the possibility of redemption. His interactions with the supporting characters gradually reveal layers of humanity beneath the hardened exterior. That is really interesting because, and very important, because changing how you look at the movie is going to help you be like, oh, I get it. Okay. Other than that, you know, this is a different take on it. But if you understand, like imagine this. It should even do that at the beginning. It should tell you in a sentence, like, to set up, you know, this happened, and this is now. And, you know, so you know, like what the atmosphere is maybe or something. The film is undeniably slow, but intentionally so. It asks for patience and rewards it with beautiful cinematography and evocative score and strong performances. The violence is brief, brutal, and intentionally shocking, serving the story rather than simply providing action. I also appreciated how the lighting and scenery subtly evolve alongside the character's emotional journey. One note, many of the performances use Irish-influenced accents. I had no trouble understanding them, but viewers who struggle with those accents may want to wait until it streams so you can turn on subtitles. Yeah, that is definitely a true thing. It really is. That the I use subtitles in general always because I miss a word anyways, but specifically with Irish accents, yes, that is 100% true. And yeah, so I don't know. You know what's funny? If you have meta glasses, you could literally have your own subtitles over it, you know, with VR or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. So this won't be everyone's version of Robin Hood, and that's okay. I wasn't expecting it wasn't what I was expecting going into it. But if you're willing to meet the film on its own terms, instead of comparing it to earlier adaptations, I think there's a thoughtful, well-crafted character study that's well worth seeing. Yeah, I mean, that is true. And yeah, a character study. See, just to delve into and see who Robin Hood is, and that if he is the one doing all the talking, okay, maybe it's okay because we do get to hear Robin Hood rant, you know, if that is what happens. Then 3 out of 10, how to rate this. When I'm mystified about how to rate, I go to 2 things. Would I want to go back and watch it again anytime soon? No. And the clincher, would I watch it ever again? No. It really stretches things out. Forget about action. Over 15 minutes into the film, Hugh was good, as was the character Margaret. That's it. I like this review. It's just like straight to the point, kind of. That's interesting. 7 out of 10, a dark take on Robin Hood, gravely injured in a battle, and aged Robin Hood ends up in an isolated priory in the care of a mysterious prioress, I guess. While recovering, Robin has an opportunity to reflect on his life and atone for his past sins. A dark, gritty, and period-reflective take on Robin Hood. This Robin Hood story focuses on the twilight of a bandit's life and the demons that haunt him. Oh, that's a good explanation. The action is sparse but brutal, barbaric, and gory. The story develops slowly, mostly through dialogue. The 2-minute runtime will feel long. A great watch for fans of Robin Hood stories and period piece dramas. Okay, so yeah, that is this is a good review, I think. This definitely, I feel like this is a good explanation of what this movie could be. Yeah, it's gonna feel long. Wow. That's interesting. We'll see. I don't know what the budget was. Wasn't it really low, I think? Yeah, I mean, here it's 20 million, and yeah, I mean, it did flop, unfortunately. Yeah, 4 million. Yeah, that's not good. Now, 1 out of 10, not at all what I was expecting. In the trailer, this movie seemed to be an action-packed thriller, and it was for the first 20 minutes, but after that, it was filled with awkward scenes and slow-moving storytelling. During the movie, we had at least 6 people walk out halfway through, and believe me, I thought about it, but I was hoping for an epic battle at the end that never came. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. It looks like the battle is moved up, and I feel like that has to be because the story calls for the battle to be there, or whatever that is, you know, or whatever it said, all the, you know, the action, whatever, the violent stuff, something. But there's got to be a reason for that, so I don't know. 7 out of 10, I felt bored in the middle of the movie. 3 out of 10, so that happened. 10 out of 10, like 1999. 3 out of 10, steals your time and gives nothing back. Yeah, wow. Okay, so that's good on the IMDb reviews. We will now go to the Rotten Tomatoes reviews. Okay, the Rotten Tomatoes reviews and stuff for The Death of Robin Hood. Wow, that's interesting. 67% from the critics. So the critics actually liked it. See, as I'm saying, it's probably, I mean, I don't know if it would have all the rules. Okay, here are the Rotten Tomatoes for The Death of Robin Hood. And wow, that's an interesting one. So the critics have it at 67%. Wow. And then the audience is at 57%. See, the audience did not enjoy it, but the critics must see. That's why my point of view a lot for movies is I accept the movie for what it is. And I go, well, this movie was like this, you know, and I think, and then it kind of, I just look at it like, yeah, how it is in a way, like, yeah, if it's good or bad, but just if you accept the movie for how it is, you know, I feel like they could be a lot better or whatever. In the same way when, like, for me, like even the characters, whatever, if there's somebody else acting as them and you don't like it, I just picture it as like, okay, this is a different timeline, you know? Like Zack Snyder's Justice League, people don't really like Ezra Miller, or they're kind of 50-50, right? But the character and then him as a person. But if you look at that movie and just think about like, oh, you know what? How about I just look at this movie and imagine that they are in Earth 3, you know? And then one day when they cast the perfect person, that will be my main timeline movie or cast choice or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. But I feel like this, if, yeah, like on an art side, it's probably really good. Hence, you know, the high rating from the critics, because they're probably looking at more of like, wow, this is really structured nicely, rather than the audience who wanted a big battle. They just, you know, they just wanted like generic stuff or whatever, I guess. They didn't want deep thinking stuff, I guess. So, and I guess that's what this movie is. That's why, you know, people are saying it's not what I expected. This isn't more like, what's a good example of this? I don't know if Popeyes or Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey are good examples, but I'm trying to think. I don't know. I can't really think of any, because this just seems more like, yeah, like a character study, really. Just like more focused on him from like a deep writing kind of a point of view, I guess. Something like that. Critics' consensus, swapping out daring due for ultraviolence. This grim take on the merry legend of Robin Hood could use some more levity in its quiver, but its aim of exploring the complicated humanity behind a folk hero nails the target. That is such hilarious wording and all the puns and all that. Then the audience says, while its visceral violence unfolds brutally at a punishing pace, Hugh Jackman still hits the mark in the death of Robin Hood. So that's great. Yeah, visceral violence, Jesus. Punishing pace. That is a punishing pace. This should be on the back of, this should be the quote on the front of the Blu-ray on the movie. While its visceral violence unfolds brutally at a, or its visceral violence unfolds brutally at a punishing pace. You know, and maybe, in comma, Hugh Jackman still hits the mark. That should be the whole quote. Or whatever, or yeah, well, yeah, there. That should be the whole quote on the front of the DVD. That is so funny. Oh my god. That is hilarious. Critics' reviews. Adam Campagnard from Film Spotting gave a 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying Sarnowski quickly dispenses with any notion that deserves God. Saying Sarnowski quickly dispenses with any notion that deserves got something to do with it when it comes to Robin's redemption. Why is that worded? Is that a bad sentence? Am I reading that correctly? That's weird. Sandra Hall from Sydney Morning Herald gave it 4 out of 5 tomatoes, saying the death of Robin Hood requires you to surrender your illusions at the door. Forget about the Robin Hood who robbed the rich and gave to the poor. Forget about the Lincoln green outfit and the feather in the cap. And then what else? Adam Naiman from Toronto Star gave it a tomato, saying the question of whether a mass audience is going to go for such a down-in-the-mouth interpretation is hard to guess, but Tarnowski's beautifully made and surpassingly bleak period piece is fascinating nonetheless. And then Keith Garlington from Keith and the Movies gave it 4.5 out of 5 tomatoes, saying the death of Robin Hood is a kind of revisionist counter-programming that won't be for everyone. Michael Sarnowski hits exactly what he aims for, and I was enthralled the entire way. And then Renee Sanchez from Cinecin Fronteras gave it 2.5 out of 4 splats, saying, despite Hugh Jackman's commanding performance, this brutal yet tedious reinterpretation of Robin Hood never quite lives up to its bold ambitions. And then Graham Tuckett from the Post New Zealand, I think, maybe, gave it 4 out of 5 tomatoes, saying, if you're hoping for another Logan or some medieval Unforgiven, then the second half might be just too contemplative and brooding for you, but if you go in wanting to be told a story by some immensely talented people, I think you might like it a lot. I think that is a really good explanation of it too. That's good. I definitely said Logan. That's funny. I think I like that one. I agree with that guy's headline there. Audience reviews. Phillip A gave it 2.5 stars, saying a very morbid movie, I guess, hence the name. Nate gave it 3 stars, saying Hugh Jackman performs exceptionally well, as usual. Bill Skarsgård is unrecognizable, which is incredible, and plays Little John so well. Something. Lewis G gave it 5 stars, saying good movie, interesting take on Robin Hood. Gonna be hard for some people to get through, but all in all, a good film. And then that's something I was thinking about is, yes, I think it's more on the art side and something, and I think that, that is a good one, and that's kind of my feeling. Binary E gave it 4 stars, saying sadly very underrated. Jay gave it 3 stars, saying the movie trailer gave the illusion of lots of action. The most action was in the first 10 minutes of the movie. The rest of the movie was something, probably slow. Then Ryan K gave it 4.5 stars, saying, I thought it was great. I'm interested in Sarnowski's movies, and I really enjoyed this take. Right, so those are all the honest reviews. I mean, that's good, I guess. It's definitely mixed. It seems like more people from the audience do like it, though. Yeah, that is good and everything. Let's see. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know what I would have guessed. 20 million budget. I guess I would have said, I would have said 50 probably, 40, 50. So good thing, because I would have lost money if I bet on that. I mean, it made, what did it say? Yeah, 4.36 million. Oh, it probably says down here. Let's see. And if there's a trivia, we could read it. Michael Sarnowski's first movie shot entirely on 35mm film. A Quiet Place Day 1 was shot hybrid with Alexa 35 and film cameras. Wow, that is awesome. Michael Sarnowski's first movie shot entirely on 35mm film. And that's awesome. That's cool. What else? So let's see if there's any of the financials down here. Let's see. So 4 million. Yeah, that is so bizarre. It didn't say a budget though. I searched for it and I got 20 million. So that could be wrong. I searched for the Jackass budget and it gave me 20 million and it's actually 10 million. So yeah, I can go full screen real quick. You can check that out. That is so interesting. 2 hours and 2 minutes, 4,000,005. See, the thing is this though, it's like, doesn't actually even look like Robin Hood, you know? I don't know if that is really like an issue or, you know, like a thing. I'm sure it probably is. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look like Robin Hood. I feel like the death of Robin Hood, I feel like that would all turn people away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't see the green costume. It says death in the movie, in the title. It's rated R, you know, and yeah, so I feel like that right there, I mean, that would get a lot of people out of it, I think. Yeah, so in the end, the death of Robin Hood flopped with a $36 million domestic gross and then like 5 million overall. I'm not sure how long it's going to be in the theaters. It was just here, so let's see, where did it end up? It was that, oh my god, it's in 14th place. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I would have guessed that. That sucks. It's been there for 10 days though. So it's not gonna get any better. Yeah. It's probably gonna end with 7 million, maybe 8. And if it really could try. But yeah, so in the end, that the Robin Hood flopped with 4 million, 5 million, and it came in 14th place. So yeah, those are all those movies. The next movies we'll be checking out in the next episode. We'll be looking at, I guess it's Minions and Monsters. Wow, that is gonna absolutely just end Toy Story. It's just gonna push Supergirl down and the Mandalorian Grogu, maybe. And then Young Washington. Wait, when is that coming out? So, wow. So Minions and Monsters, is that it? And then Young Washington, and then what else? Evil Dead Burn. That's gonna be interesting. And then Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. I don't know what that is. And then Moana. Jeez, I don't think Supergirl is really gonna get any. And then the Odyssey. I don't think it's gonna get any chance to really show off its strength, or anything like that. But I think it's just gonna have a lot of trouble. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that will be the next movies that we check out in the next show. And this is where we can end this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you to iMDB, The Numbers, and RottenTomatoes.com. Leave a comment down below about what you thought, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.